excited with the thought that millions of our people all across our great country will, on this 4th of July weekend, join together in thinking about freedom and the men and women who sacrificed to make it our inheritance. It's recorded that shortly after the Declaration of Independence was signed in Philadelphia, celebrations took place throughout the land, and many of the former colonists, they were just starting to call themselves Americans, set off cannons and marched in fife and drum parades. What a contrast with the sober scene that has taken place a short time earlier in Independence Hall. 56 men came forward to sign the parchment. It was noted at the time that they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors. That was more than rhetoric. Each of those men knew the penalty for high treason to the crown. We must all hang together, Benjamin Franklin said, or assuredly we will all hang separately. And John Hancock, it is said, wrote his signature in large script so King George could see it without his spectacles. They were brave. They stayed brave through all the bloodshed of coming years. Their courage created a nation built on a universal claim to human dignity, on the proposition that every man, woman, and child had a right to a future of freedom. For just a moment, let us listen to the words again. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Today, as veterans, you are still defending freedom. Whether it's supporting adequate defense budgets, or aid to the freedom fighters in Nicaragua, or teaching America's young people the meaning of our precious rights through your Voice of Democracy program.
Welcome to the White House. Marine One will be landing momentarily, bringing the President and First Lady home to what many call the People's House. The White House grounds occupy 18 acres, and one of its most famous features is the South Lawn. It was first conceived by Thomas Jefferson, but didn't become the South Lawn as we know it until the White House was rebuilt after being burned down by the British in the War of 1812 during the presidency of James Madison. The familiar lawn has served many purposes. Sheep grazed here as late as Woodrow Wilson's term. Children enjoy the annual Easter egg hunt, restored to the South Lawn by Nancy Reagan in 1981. Foreign dignitaries are honored here. And now, the South Lawn is about to serve one of its most important roles, the landing pad for Marine One. As the White House staff prepares for the President's arrival, we'll head inside, where we can meet with him in the Oval Office. A typical Washington thunderstorm has delayed the arrival, so we'll have only a few minutes with the President. He's been fighting a seasonal allergy, which you'll probably hear in his voice, as he shares some of his personal history about the most powerful room in the world.
Starting shortly.
Thanks. Welcome to the Oval Office. Though I spent years in this office, I never thought of it as mine. I was just the latest temporary occupant in a long and distinguished line. Earlier still, Queen Victoria presented the magnificent desk to President Rutherford B. Hayes, crafted from the timbers of Her Majesty's ship, Resolute. It's an enduring symbol of friendship. While I love the desk, I must admit that it wasn't perfect. In fact, carpenters had to raise the desk a couple of inches. It was either that, or I would have had to lower my knees. The cumulative weight of so much history is inescapable. One feels surrounded by illustrious predecessors. So much so, in fact, that out of respect for this office and the events which have transpired in it, I almost never remove my suit coat. Of course, you can take your work seriously without taking yourself that way. Among the signs on the desk is one that reads, "There is no limit to what a man can do or where he can go if he doesn't mind who gets the credit." Not a bad philosophy, especially in Washington, D.C., a city of tall monuments and even taller egos. Still, the Oval Office is much more than a bully pulpit. In many ways, it is a mirror held up to the American people. I look forward to meet a cross-sampling of American heroes, whether that's throwing a ball, protecting a neighborhood, or hugging a child. And the world came calling as well. Mother Teresa visited this room. So did Margaret Thatcher and Mikhail Gorbachev. Unfortunately, for all the power possessed by an American president, there are some things beyond his control. Here I met with hostages newly released from the hell of Beirut. I'll never forget the feeling of horror that accompanied the explosion of the Challenger space shuttle. Or the morning I invited congressional leaders over to hear a tape recording of a Soviet pilot locking on to the ill-fated Korean flight 007. It still chills my blood to think of those 269 innocent passengers. And it was here that I first learned of Nancy's impending cancer surgery. So you see, you don't just give speeches in the Oval Office. You also say prayers. Above all, you pray for peace.
Mr. President, your meeting is starting.
So, goodbye. God bless you.
Maybe we should have done the other one first.
Our training has gone so far. The dark ages.
You never knew from day to day what you were going to be doing. It was great, a great adventure. I do it all again.
The FBI is made up of people from all walks of life, all cultures, all countries. They are men and women who come to work every single day to try to make a difference in our society.
I think with where we are in the FBI, we need all hands on deck. We need great men, we need great women.
Yeah, that's a piece of history right there.
Take a picture as long as no flash, right?
Where were you on the night of May 30th? Yeah, why are we here?
FBI,
FBI? And why do you want to see the FBI?
because it's cool.
Isn't that your goal to someday be some sort of law enforcement? So it's like a primer here, you get all See what's going on? All right, well,
That's why she's in front of
head into the training division and we'll see what happens. I think it's locked though. We can't get in. Now I just left my fingerprints. Now they know who I am. There's D.B. Cooper's plane ticket. The actual D.B. Cooper money. And there's his parachute.
That's me going. Read the poem. I think it's a perfume. I like to tell them you can read it. It's for dessert.
Is he dead? Yeah, it's a statue. Is this fake? Are you still alive?
No.
I don't think it's a statue.
ALCATRAZ. This is the exact place where Nicolas Cage escaped in The Rock. No? Not buying it?
Well, Monaco in February 1971.
You're gonna fire a gun, see your aptitude?
Oh my god.
Hey, take a shot at it.
Ha ha ha.
A dad joke.
That's funny.
Ready. Full trigger.
Shoot at it like it's a target. Dude, you gotta get everybody else. Why only give me one target?
You have to wait for the next one.
You have to shoot at that where it says.
That's the first test, right?
I think I'm already doing a great job,
Yeah,
guys.
you're already in the agency. Oh, see, this woman's gonna shoot her eye out, just like in Christmas Story.
You're ready, you're ready. Good.
Right now, they're both gonna fire.
Yeah, now they're gonna shoot two targets.
Yeah, I'm in the FBI, Kyle.
And for the flat top. You get 3 seconds to fire. You shoot 2 rounds in 3 seconds. Now they're gonna tell you how you get. Well, there's one more. Round 4. Stage 4, 2 rounds.
I passed.
You're not gonna let us forget that, are you? It's gonna be a long day for you. Alright, you're shooting 1, you're shooting 2. She waits for shooting 1. Shoot at it. Okay, good.
Look how far away it is. Oh,
We both failed.
you both failed.
Definitely not the paper.
Every day there's something being involved that is done in states with special access.
What's the difference between an executive and a team?
Working with people or for people.
Oh.
This is exactly what you wanted to do. How bizarre is that?
Check me out, guys.
Here we are at the FBI lab. Your future workspace, correct? This is where Dexter works, right?
That's what I just said.
You said that?
Uh-huh.
You already made that joke?
I said, look, you could be like Dexter and study blood. Fingerprints, I think. Is what
Look at the battering ram. I guess the phone is mostly for the other side of the museum.
I only used it once. Let's see anything here.
Those are real FBI boxes. Wow, look at them. Amazing. And this quaint little cabin is a replica of the Unabomber's cabin, Ted Kaczynski. Wow. Scary, scary stuff. Let's go in. I'm just kidding, I'm not going in there. And I lied, you can go in. Let's go in. And this is how he lived. Unabomber, he wasn't crazy at all. Look at him, living in this lap of luxury, sending bombs to people of note. Thank God he's incarcerated. This looks like a Knott's Peak Inn. And they even have his manifesto. The Unabomber's manifesto. Scary stuff.
Look at the shoe bombs.
Oh, he made shoes with smaller footprints on them. That's insane. Replicas of his shoes. This is either the Unabomber's replica bomb or Darth Vader's lightsaber. I'm not really sure, because we've been to both museums.
Was another smaller effect. It looked like a piece of wood, and it would take 6 months until we identified this fragment as belonging to a fragment built by in October last week.
There's Patty Hearst's coat and her mask. It's a Ted Bundy handwritten letter from 1981. Dear Vic, enclosed is a letter to Steve and Hugh I would like you to forward for me. Please make a copy of the letter and send it to Carol. What brought about a recent series of news reports concerning some remarks you made about my appeal. You've got everyone convinced that it's not just a matter of time before I pack up my bags and go home. It's nice to have some favorable publicity once in a while. Thanks. Wow, what a psycho.
I got a 5 and a 7. This should stick out with how this stick, okay? You know what that is?
Assassination of Bobby Kennedy.
Police officers are right on the site.
Arrested Saran. They're trying to get him out of jail. This is about the, you can see the Roswell landing. And I don't have time to read that, but I did notice like flying disc, hexagonal in shape, and then finally the end here, ACK in order, like ACK. Like Mars Attacks was real. ACK. Remember the shoe bomber, Richard Reed? They have his shoes. This is the reason you gotta take your shoes off when you go to the airport. This fool. Look at him. Look at him. Ridiculous. Thank God they took him down before he could hurt anybody. And there's the belt they used to strap him to his chair. And this is the anthrax scare that went on for a while. These are movie props. Oh yeah, Criminal Minds, their badges. Look at that. And there's one of their files. Here's their reference books, their desk props. Oh, there's Joe Montana.
That is so cool.
of duty, keeping our country safe.
If we went to the marriage certificate and their wedding announcement.
Nancy Reagan's wedding ring, the topper, their bouquet. Yeah, look, there's the topper in action right there. Is this the marriage certificate and the announcement?
And the announcement, and then a letter.
Then they put their names in their home.
Has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we are retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better rev than death, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die in his feet. Therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us.
Is he talking to me? Is he talking to me? Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Well, I was. Now I got Joe Biden. Now I'm not. We need you, Reagan. Come back. Govern our state, please. Let the hologram govern. Imagine they do.
It's easier for you to go and buy things in the stores than it was 4 years ago. Is there more or less unemployment in the country than there was 4 years ago? Is America as respected throughout the world as it was? Do you feel that our security is as safe, that we're as strong as we were 4 years ago? And if you answer all of those questions yes, why then I think your choice is very obvious as to who you will vote for. If you don't agree, if you don't think that this course that we've been on for the last 4 years is what you would like to see us follow for the next 4, then I could suggest another choice that you have. I would like to have a crusade today, and I would like to lead that crusade with your help, and it would be one to take government off the backs of the great people of this country and turn you loose again to do those things that I know you can do so well because you did them and made this country great. Thank you.
He's got my vote.
Oh, he's monologuing. Oh, you're taking the, okay. She wants a picture now. I got double cameras. Double prizes.
You look so presidential with Adele. And look, you can see their outfits that they're wearing are here. Look at that. There's Reagan's plan to rebuild America speech. And the signs from his desk, it can be done. And there is no limit to what a man can do or where he can go if he doesn't mind who gets the credit. You are. Clock given to him by Margaret Thatcher.
That's one thing.
So they're chronicling the assassination attempt, and they have his actual suit with the bullet hole in it and where they cut it to provide medical care. Traces of blood are visible, it says, Rachel. And there's the x-ray.
Please move your right as far as you can, and I'll tell you some stories. Some of them might even be true. This is an exact replica of the Oval Office as it appeared late in President Reagan's second term. It's the exact same size as the real Oval Office in Washington. You thought it'd be bigger, didn't you? I did. Most of the items in here, the furniture, the paintings, are copies or replicas. But several of the items in here are actual artifacts that President Reagan brought with him to put into this room when he retired. If you look at those photos on the back table, those are copies. The frames are original. The two flags are copies. The flag poles with the eagles on top, those are original. That chair behind the desk was his actual chair for 8 years as governor and 8 years again as president. In fact, shortly after, for the first few years after we opened the library, people would come through here and he'd be sitting behind that desk. And he'd get up and talk to the people just like I'm doing. Most of the items on the desk are original, except for the phone and the notepad. That brass eagle you see near the front of the desk is especially interesting. That belonged to President Kennedy. It was on his desk. When he was assassinated in November of '63, his personal belongings went to his family. In President Reagan's second term, he and Mrs. Reagan were asked if they would attend a fundraiser for the Kennedy Library in Boston, which they did. Senator Ted Kennedy gave him that eagle to thank him for attending. Those 13 miniature saddles you see on the two tables in front of the bookcase, those are original Paul Rossi sculptures from his office. The orange pillows on the sofa are also original. Probably the most interesting thing in here is this desk. It's a replica, but the original Resolute desk has a fascinating history to it. In 1854, the British had an expedition sailing around northern Canada. One of their ships, the Resolute, got stuck in the ice. Couldn't move, so they abandoned it. Months later, the ice started to break up and the ship started to drift. And it drifted like a ghost ship for the whole year. It was found a year later, 1855, 1,200 miles away by an American whaling ship. And under international salvage laws, they were allowed to keep it, so they were going to turn it into another whaling ship. But our 14th president, President Pierce, wanted to send it back to England as a gesture of goodwill. So he got $40,000 from Congress. He purchased the ship from the whaling company, had it repaired and sent back to Queen Victoria. Fast forward 25 years later, now it's 1880, Queen Victoria was still in power, and they were decommissioning and retiring Resolute. She wanted to send a thank you back to America for returning the ship. So she had 3 desks made from the oak planks of the Resolute. 2 smaller desks they called ladies' desks, and the larger one would look like this that she sent to President Hayes, our 19th president. For most of the 141 years that desk has been in this country, it was moved through different parts of the White House. Some presidents put it in the Blue Room, some would put it in the private quarters upstairs. The first one to bring it into the Oval Office was President Kennedy. When he was assassinated, President Johnson preferred a different desk. He sent this one into the Smithsonian. President Carter took it out of the Smithsonian, put it back in the Oval Office where it's being used today by President Carter. How are we doing right here?
That game is much more fun than Monopoly. Is it your turn? No. Do you want to play? No. Ladies and gentlemen, Air Force One. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous airplane. Oh my God. And look how it's aimed at the sky. Wow. You're gonna go aboard Air Force One. Are you ready?
I'm gonna pass out.
Did you know this was part of the tour?
No, I think I'm gonna die.
This is your captain speaking. We'll be flying at an altitude of 42 feet inside the Ronald Reagan Library. Off to the left of the pilot, you'll see the pub that Reagan was very, very fond of. This is stateroom 2. Was Air Force One. What'd you think?
That was amazing. That
It was
so
pretty cool, right?
We walked and stood where presidents walked and stood on a plane in the air.
7 of them.
7 presidents.
7 presidents. That's really cool. Yeah, it was really impressive. Beautiful. So far it's been the best part. LAPD cruiser, look at that. What a great piece of history. And then there's Reagan's limousine official, the Gipper. With bulletproof glass and all. All nestled under the wing of Air Force One. Welcome aboard Marine One.
Santa's driving.
It's a little smaller than Air Force One.
Oh, look how tiny that little side seat is right here. Like, who sits here?
That's where Nancy Reagan used to sit.
She was tiny enough to. Yes. That's so cool.
I have a feeling that a lot of presidents had to duck their head when they walked in here.
Yeah.
Not me though.
No, I think you're fine.
I'm good.
There's a little tiny chair there too.
Those little seats.
That one was me size.
And there we were inside
So cool.
Marine One. Let's get a shot of it as we back up to show it. Look at it. And you can see Air Force One in the background. Look at that. In June of '84, Reagan visited his ancestral homeland of Ballyporeen, Ireland. They bought the pub. Look at that. Reagan's favorite pub. Look at that old bar. And there's Charlie Brown and Linus on the fence. Give us some wisdom.
I need it now.
The museum has wore her out.
I love it. I just wish there was a resting in between.
I have a lot of energy. I'm feeling great. I'm very excited.
And then there's that spectacular view out the window.
your spoon-feeding socialism until you're communists and don't even know Crusade for freedom is your chance to find the right balance. One of the greatest peacetime spy dramas in the nation's history reaches its climax. In New York, the 11-top American band marks the opening of a conspiracy against the devil. Once more, a month-long challenge in Reagan centers on Berlin. Overnight, East Berlin became a concentration camp.
Get up there.
You're pregnant, right?
If you go right over here. You did great, yeah. Get up there, let's see if I can do that good. Line up. Leg over. She doesn't know how to ride a horse. Okay, there you go. You got mask off.
Yeehaw.
Okay, let me make sure I got it. I got it. You're riding with Reagan. Are you gonna ride with Reagan, babe?
Suddenly we're in Santa Barbara. Dear Jeff, thank you for voting for me, even though you weren't allowed to vote. Sincerely, Ronald Reagan. I think we're parked right there.
My fellow Americans, I have recently been told that I am one of the millions of Americans who will be afflicted with Alzheimer's disease. Upon learning this news, Nancy and I had to decide whether as private citizens we would keep this a private matter or whether we would make this news known in a public way. At the moment, I feel just fine. I intend to live the remainder of the years God gives me on this earth, doing the things I have always done.
The nation mourns the passing of a president tonight. Ronald Reagan, surrounded by his family, died at his home in California today after a long and difficult battle.
President Reagan stood tall. Another step back. President Reagan stepped forward.
The nation.
And he did it all with great humility, with great charm, and with great
Final letter to the American people. Dad wrote so well. I now begin the journey that will lead me into the sunset of my life. This evening,
You know, as he always said, America's best days are
he is home now. He is free.
I've lost a great president.
Yearly onset of Alzheimer's disease, my father and I.
God bless you, Reagan. I need you back. And here we are in the gift shop. All these Ronald Reagan accoutrements. What are you getting?
Shaky. She's so excited about
What are you getting? An FBI jacket. Was it worth the trip?
Yes, very much so. Very.
And what are you getting? A hat? I really miss Reagan.
Coolest hat ever.
There you go.
I'm all shaky. I'm so excited.
Oh, Well, that's good, right? It's a good feeling. Your mother hyperventilates. Oh, you've been shopping, we know. My wallet knows you've been shopping. You're participating in Reaganomics.
I miss them, see?
I really miss Reagan. I shut me off the jacket. Oh, are you official?
Official.
You're official now. Hello, Agent Starling.
It's easy to go up for all the schooling. If I get the jacket.
Yeah, once you have the jacket, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
It worked for the Wizard of Oz, right? He just hands out stuff. Look at that view. Look at it. Moss Eisley Spaceport. You never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.